Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Shows, Style, and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. I know that I'm like 9 minutes late. I do apologize. I try not to be on CP time. I was putting together the slideshow. I am not on camera as I just finished a workout, a YouTube workout for 45 minutes before I put together the slideshow. So my dreadlocks are wrapped up in a scarf as they should. But as a result, I am not on camera. So let's just jump right into it with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. After I recap the episode, I do want to read an article that focuses on a lawsuit that includes Juan Dixon, the husband of Robin Dixon. So we have a lot to get into. Let's jump right on in. So this is a recap of episode 5 of season 7 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. The episode opens up with Ashley actually going over to Candace's home. Now, I just want to say, when it comes to The Real Housewives of Potomac, it has been so entertaining for several consecutive seasons. Now, this season, you just really see how the women are not genuine friends with each other. And it's even like my last recap on my thumbnail, I called it the fakery of it all. And the fakery continues. So Candace has welcomed Ashley into her home, and I'm like Candace when she is arguing with someone and she says, "I let you into my home." That's how I am. That's my personal space. I trust you to know where I live. I'm letting you coming into my home. That meant that I felt that you were a decent person on some sort of level. And, Candace feeds her. They're drinking wine. They're having like cheese and snacks, and they are gossiping. Okay. And I'm not stupid. I know that they are reality TV stars. So there has to be some gossiping, at least to an extent, so that someone is the bone carrier, carries back the bone, which stirs up the drama. Hence, it's entertaining. So in this scene, we see, Candace confiding in Ashley about Giselle's allegations against her husband, Chris. And Candace even says to Ashley, that's your friend. And Ashley replies with, yeah, she knows my secrets. And what secrets are those, Ashley? Are they the same secrets that Monique Samuels has about your husband, Michael, and allegedly grabbing the Bravo employee's butt at Monique's house? And she has surveillance cameras, but conveniently, her cameras were not filming in the room where that took place. Is it secrets like that? Or what else does Giselle know? So Ashley was letting Candace know that they have an alliance. And Candace, as smart and educated and confident and vocal as she is, there is still a part of her inside that wants to be down like Brandy, okay? She should remake I Want to Be Down by Brandy, because she wants to be Giselle's friend and she wants Giselle to be her friend. And I think she's really trying to get a grip on where Giselle is coming from by inviting Ashley over to her home. But Candace has no idea that Ashley is about to ambush her at the burn session, which we will get into, at the end of the recap. Also, in this scene, Candace makes it be known that, there were rumors going around that Ashley was hanging out with a hockey player. And all Ashley could do was smile, laugh, and then, fall on the floor. And she said that, she saw a guy and, they hung out, they had dinner, it was nice. But I can compare every man to Michael. And I'm just like, why? But obviously, she did love Michael. I know a lot of us don't see it for him. So, but yeah, she hung out with the hockey player. I hope it is the beginning of many dates. So then we see Mia and G having lunch with their kids outside, I guess, on their lanai or their patio. It looked really beautiful. In this scene, Mia actually brings up that, when she met G, they actually hung out in Miami, her and her now ex best friend. And she admitted that G was married when they met and started hooking up. In fact, Mia said that she and G had sex on a Miami beach, knew that people were watching, and gave them a show. So, okay. Now, the freak in me doesn't care. I'm not mad at them doing it on the beach, on a public beach. The part that I'm mad at is that Mia was a coleslaw, okay, or she was the fries. She was a side meal for G. And G, I'm sorry, but you totally look like the type of man that would cheat on your wife, okay? You look like you were probably, you stare at women's titties and say something inappropriate, and you keep bothering them until they got to curse you out and call you an old man and shame you. And, I just feel like Mia was down with it because he probably was flashing his money and buying her drinks and letting her know that he had something. But, Mia, he was married. And you know how the saying goes, the way that you got him is the way that you lose them. So, or is it the way that they lose them, the way they got them, whatever. So, Mia, I just hope G doesn't return that energy back to you, darling. And then he brings up her health scare. And she was just, initially, she's just staring at G like, because he says, I want to know what's up with that. And she's just staring at him like, and what do you mean? And it was just really odd. And then she just said, well, it wasn't the big C, but they have to do, additional testing. And it was just so strange that like G was asking her what's the status on her health scare, and he had no idea. Like obviously he's not going to the doctor's visits with her. He's just waiting to get updates. It just seemed kind of contrived. I'm not going to say that she's, lying, but it was just really strange that her husband was kind of in the dark of, what time it is with her health. So then we have Giselle and her beautiful daughters. I did not get the other twin daughter, Adore, in this shot, but that's Grace, Angel, and Giselle. And so they were at a nail salon, and they were, of course, were getting manicures. Giselle was getting a pedicure, and she was just saying how she tries to spend as much time with them as she can, because I believe next fall, Grace will be in college, and then she says soon after that, the twins will be. So I think Giselle is already starting to get like an empty nest feeling, because she knows that her house will be empty, around the corner. So she'll be fine. She'll get used to it. I don't have any kids, but I just kind of feel like parents do get used to it. When I went to college, my freshman year, I think I came home by the time Christmas break, my dad had moved like some exercise equipment in my bedroom, just like totally let it be known that I was gone. Okay. So I'm sure Giselle will get used to it and she'll even enjoy it. So then we have this fake scene where Robin is meeting with an attorney about the ins and outs of drafting a prenuptial agreement. Now, if you've watched my other videos on Potomac, you know that I have this personal theory that when Robin let the friend, swindle all of Juan Dixon's earnings from working in the NBA, I always felt like secretly, deep down, Robin was on some get back when she did it. I just have this feeling that Robin had a feeling that the friend was no good and also did not know how to invest and how to invest millions of dollars. And I think that she kind of wanted Juan to lose some of his money because he was cheating on her in their marriage. This is just a personal intuition that I have. It's not based on any interviews that she's done or any tea that I've heard. It's just like the way that she moves. I just feel like she wanted to get back at him. And so that's why she let the friend who really didn't know what he was doing invest their money and lose it. So now I just find it so funny that now she wants to draft the prenuptial agreement since she's been on this reality TV show. I'm sure she's grossed 7 figures, even if it's over the years of being on the show. They bought the house, right? Since she's been on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now she wants to secure the prenuptial agreement. Now, after finding out about the lawsuit involving Juan, now I'm guessing that that could be part of the reason too why Robin wanted to get the prenuptial agreement, because she had a feeling that something was going to go down and she wanted to protect her assets, her saving account balances, her investments investments in the stock market and their property. Perhaps Juan told her off camera, look, I'm involved in this lawsuit and it's about to go public. And that's really why she's meeting up with this attorney. See, things always come to light, right? So then we see, Candace's baby sister is living with her and Chris. And in this scene, we learn some exciting news that Candace is re-releasing her Deep Space album. It's going to be Deep Space Deluxe, which will include some new songs. And she has learned that the rapper Trina has agreed to be on one of the features on one of the records. And her baby sister was like, who is Trina? And Chris and Candace was like, you don't know who the baddest bitch is? And her sister was like, if it's not Beyonce, I don't know who it is. So kudos to Candace. That is so exciting to have, the rapper Trina on a record. Trina is a legend. She's beautiful and she's got bars. So I am so excited for Candace. I feel like Candace can sing. Her deep voice, it reminds me of like a Toni Braxton. So I see great things happening for Candace. She also did like a tour. She did like smaller, more intimate settings. She was in Atlanta like last week, and some ladies from Married to Medicine and the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they checked out Candace's show. I thought that was really dope. So now we have the burn session. Oh my gosh. This was more like an exorcism maybe, or they needed to call it exorcist because it really went left. So this was the outside of the winery where Wendy organized this event. And if you remember, the last time the ladies was at the winery, it was when Monique and Candace were bucking, okay? Glass was flying, wine was flying, and hands were flying, okay? But this time, there were no hands. There were just words here at the burn session. So the idea was drafted by Wendy. She had sage. She wanted all of the ladies to hold the sage and, say what they were burning, any negativity, any negative experiences. And then she wanted the ladies to reflect on each other and say something positive. Well, Robin wasn't with it. I guess Robin thought it was a little fake, or she's just not feeling Wendy. And her and Wendy were going back and forth. Wendy remained calm with Robin. She did not match Robin's energy. And of course, Robin got up and walked out because when someone doesn't match your negative energy and you're the only one acting an ass, you're tired of looking like an ass in front of everyone. So then she got up and walked out. She went back on the van that she rode on to get out to the winery, and she's taken off her, heel. She had on like knee-high boots with the heels. She's like, I got to put on my Uggs and get comfortable. I guess she was waiting for the ladies to finish filming at the winery. And then, so she didn't stay, but she really didn't go either. It was so whack. And, Wendy was remaining calm. So kudos to her for that. And that was definitely strategic. So then the wildness continues because then Ashley decides that she would front on Candace and say that someone actually told her that Chris was being flirtatious with them, almost like she is corroborating a Giselle's story of Chris being inappropriate with her. Now, remember in the beginning of this recap, the opening scene was Ashley being over Candace's house, where Candace, fed her and they gossiped and they laughed and they kikied, and it was just the two of them, right? But when Ashley gets around Giselle and the group, she is fronting on Candace and telling her that her man is inappropriate. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Everyone is not your friend. Have you ever had someone whom you thought was your friend, and when it's just the two of you, they are acting normal, they are acting like a normal human, but when they get around others and when they get around certain people, they're doing little digs, being disrespectful, almost embarrassing you. That's the energy that Ashley is giving when it comes to Candace. Now, a lot of people who watch The Real Housewives of Potomac believe that there's a colorism issue because a lot of the people who keep up the fuck shit, they happen to be light-skinned. Ashley is biracial. We all know that Robin Dixon did her ancestry, and she even said that in her blood, she is majority European. So people, it's very natural to, you can't help but notice the things that you see that are reoccurrences or something that is a pattern. And for people who carry the bones and keep up the fuck shit and disrespect the marriages and the families, they are very high yellow. You're absolutely right. Now, do I think it's like, so okay, the part that I do agree is colorist is when they say that Wendy and Candace are acting aggressive. But when Robin is cutting up, Robin has cut up more than once. No one has ever told her that she was aggressive. Not even the browner women on this show, they never categorized her as such. But Robin and the other women, or Ashley, I'm sorry, she called Wendy ferocious and aggressive before. So I do believe that that is definitely an issue. Even if the light skinned women, they aren't aware, if you've ever done something and someone had to call it to your attention and you were unaware, they may have been unaware at some point. But the viewers have brought up the colorism. Andy brought it up at the reunion, the last season reunion, and the only women who were talking about colorism were the brown skinned women, Wendy and Candace. Giselle and Robin sat their asses on that sofa mute because they did not have the balls to speak up on colorism, or they are satisfied with the status quo, baby, and they do not want anything to change. So now I do feel like this was a great episode. I do hope that Candace sees the light. The viewers have been warning her for years that Giselle is not your friend. What's up, Marva? I love my beautiful lock sister. And yes, now Candace is seeing that the energy that Giselle had for Monique, it is now being transferred onto her. But Candace is intelligent. We all know she's vocal. Her reads are lethal. I believe she can hang in there. I just hope that when all of this has to get dealt with at the reunion, that Andy does not try to gaslight. If he does, I hope that Wendy and Candace have each other's back and that they address everything. I really want Candace, Wendy, and Karen to be cohesive, because that would be a very strong force, because we know it's going to always be Giselle, Robin, and Ashley. And for some reason, Ashley, she does not want to connect with Candace. And I never understood that because, like Candace pointed out in the beginning of this episode, they are both like in their mid to late 30s. They are both from the pageant world. And Ashley just won't let Candace in as a friend. And I don't think that it's because, oh, Candace is brown skin, I'm better than her. I think that Ashley has like a little bit of jealousy. Although her soon to be ex-husband is the millionaire, supposedly, there's something about Candace that Ashley doesn't like. Perhaps it's just classic cattiness, but for whatever reason, Ashley has never fully saw it for Candace. So now I do want to read this article about Juan Dixon, y'all. So it is a lot. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I want to stop sharing my slideshow so that I can actually share this article about Juan Dixon. I do not know if you are aware, but Juan Dixon is actually included in a lawsuit, y'all. It gets really, really deep. It involves alleged harassment, and where Juan Dixon is involved is because, he is a coach at a university, and the harassment was brought to him, and Negro did not do anything about it. Now, I don't know if you or anyone works in human resources, but when anyone in a leadership role is made aware of like sexual harassment or anything, it's like the law where they have to report it to HR. And from my opinion, if I owned a business, that's a pretty good law, because the last thing you would want is for a person to report sexual harassment and it never gets filed, it never gets dealt with legitimately, because then that person could sue. And so I'm sure the university is looking at Juan Dixon sideways because he did not report it. So he should be in hot water. But let me read. A Coppin State University assistant basketball coach catfished a player online into providing intimate photos and text, then blackmailed him into videotaping a sexual encounter before publicizing the material. When the player resisted further demands for sex, a lawsuit filed in Baltimore City Circuit Court alleges. The legal complaint says, by information and belief, Lucien Brownlee, a former guard who served as director of player development and director of basketball operations, harassed, tormented, and sexually assaulted the player, Ivan Williams, before publishing intimate material that he had obtained from the student. Coppin basketball coach Juan Dixon, who is named in the complaint, allegedly failed to take action when informed on Brownlee's actions. A legendary figure in Baltimore and beyond, Dixon is the former University of Maryland standout and NBA player who Coppin hired in the spring of 2017. So that right there, I'm not going to read the whole article. This is on baltimorebrew.com. So as you can see, Juan Dixon was made aware of the young man's actions and he didn't do shit about it. He did not. And so that's where he is in trouble. And that is what I have on the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. I am planning on doing some more videos tomorrow. I want to focus on the latest season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I feel like season 11 was the best season that the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has had in a few years, in a few seasons. We have to talk about Scrappy, Lil Scrappy, talking about growing up in a whorehouse and a trap house. You know, Mama D, she would say that she was a pimp and there were some things going on. And Lil Scrappy was very emotional in the season finale. So I definitely want to touch on that. I also want to do like an ultimate recap of season 9 of Married to Medicine. If I don't do both of those videos tomorrow, I will definitely get to both of them by Thursday night. I just want to recap Married to Medicine. It's basically, you know, there were still questions about Toya and Eugene's finances. Anila's home has been broken into twice. And then I want to talk about the craziness that is Dr. Contessa. I feel like we have met a totally different Dr. Contessa this season 9. So I'm going to be working on those videos for you guys this week. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Everyone who checked it out live, Marva, thank you so much. Everyone checking out the replay, I thank you so much for your support. If you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. I do episode recaps as I moved, as there are things that I want to highlight. I also have interviewed Winter Harris from Love and Marriage DC. I interviewed one of the baby mothers of Nene Leakes' oldest son, Bryson. Her name is Simone. Check that video out here. That video has the most views. I think it has about 4,000 so far. And also, I stream some of my favorite celebrities' Instagram lives here on Shows, Style, and Spirit. So thanks again, and please like this video. It would really help with YouTube recommending this video to others. I wish you all a great day tomorrow. Take good care. Bye-bye.